Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. I just made a video about an hour ago on this tree, and this is what the person that emailed me wants to do. So we're going to take that tree and go ahead and right click, left click, and give it an outline. Then we're going to work on this cabin. You could probably find a cabin on the internet, but we'll just draw one real quick. We'll draw a square. We'll go to the polygon tool, get a three-sided polygon. Don't hold down the control button and make the roof whatever shape you want. Let's go ahead and work in the center of the page. Let's put both those in the center of the page. I'm going to bring in this cabin a little bit closer so I can watch it. And then we're going to grab them both and I'm going to hit T. Well, it didn't work. But what we can do is just take that up, holding down the control button. And you don't have to get the lines to meet, because we can actually take the virtual segment delete key and delete that line anyway. And we have part of a cabin. Now it's a little bit taller than I wanted. So what I'm going to do is take the Smart Fill tool and go ahead and fill it in. That put all the lines together. I can left click, right click now. And I can bring this up and kind of squat the cabin a little bit. I want it back in the center. And I'm going to hit P. Now let's work on the window. And because this ornament is like glued, they do have window frames that would work because it could be pretty thin, but we can, you're going to glue it to it. So let's draw a rectangle about the size of the window, holding down the control button. Don't worry about the placement right now. We're going to take a 2-point line and draw a line holding down the control button. And we're going to put that right in the center. We're going to Control D and duplicate it, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Now I'm going to go ahead and take away some of this line. Doesn't really matter, we just get it out of the way. And now we're going to grab the two lines. We've already got one, so I'm going to select the other one with the holding down the Shift key. You can see we have two objects selected. I'm going to make them something in the hairline. And because they can be real thin, I'm going to go ahead and go to Object and convert them to an outline. Left click. I'm going to do them in black just so you can kind of see. Now, we could probably try to weld them, but I don't know if I have the windows far enough in. Nope, didn't work. So what we can do is just grab this, shift select this. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to set my nudge factor on. Now 5 inches might be too much. Let's go 2. Let's take this out of the way. And let's weld it. Have to go off so I won't grab the house. And let's weld that. Now we can bring the rectangle back in. Well, 2 inches is still a long way away. Probably the easiest thing to do would be to just take your virtual segment delete key and delete that line and that line. Basically, it's 4 squares. Now we're going to control. What I can do, well, I'm not going to do it. I can lock the window. I'm going to group these together, Control G. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the center of the page. And then I'm going to, holding down the control button, I'm going to snap it to the edge. I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 0.25 and nudge that over. Not too far. Nudge it back. Let's go 0.125, eighth of an inch. Control D and nudge it over. And then take this one and holding down the control button, go all the way to the left and have it snap to it. If you don't grab that edge, it's not going to snap to. But now we can nudge it over that eighth of an inch and we have perfect placement. The door, I'm going to go ahead and make it like that. It doesn't have a bottom, but that's fine. I'm just going to take the rectangle tool and draw a door. Then I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page, and then bring it down anywhere and take the Smart Fill tool. Now what we're going to do, or the virtual segment delete key, we are going to weld this at the end, so to put all the pieces together. We're going to draw a smokestack, and then I'm going to take another rectangle and go like that, kind of put a cap on it, and you can change that up however you want. Delete those two lines and delete all these lines, and take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, and there's your cabin. The roof line is a little bit too much for a cabin, but it'll work. Now what we're going to do, we can left click, right click, and we have our cabin. Now I kind of need to draw an ornament size, so I'm going to go 4 inches with my ratio locked. I'm going to just type in 4, and that put them both. Now I'm going to place my tree in here, which is way too big. And I'm going to put it like off the ornament, which is pretty cool. Let's zoom in here a little bit. And we're going to hit the plus key on the keyboard and put another tree just off of it a little bit. And you could change the size. We could actually make this one smaller. That looks pretty good. Now what we want to do before we build the other ring, that's going to be the outside of it, well, we can go ahead and build the other ring. Let's make it Control D and make it a 4.5. And we can nudge that out of the way. Let me change my nudge factor to like 5 inches and nudge it out of the way just so it won't be in the way right now. And we're going to take the virtual segment delete key and we're going to delete that part of the tree and this part of the tree and this part of the tree, all this, probably to there. Maybe, well, that's too much. That looks pretty good. And what we can do with both trees, we can grab both trees and weld them. Well, I was hoping it would. Let me back up here. Maybe because I've cut them. So what we can do is just take the virtual segment delete key and delete some of these lines through here, because these trees are going to be like intermingled, but we don't want too much to worry about. Not doing a real good job of this. If it would have welded, it would have been better. And then we could, basically just get rid of some of these other lines in the middle. So that would be kind of like a break where you could see through the tree. And I don't really like that bottom. Let's go ahead and just delete it and see what happens. Well, you know what? If we delete, we can't do that. But if we go right here, take the shape tool, right click that and break it apart, then we can delete that part and delete that part. Because when we bring in this other ring, let's nudge it right back. This is what it's going to look like. I'm actually going to use a brown, kind of like wood would be. And we do that. That's what we're going to look at. So I'm going to move it over and leave the outline alone. Take this back, left click, right click. And now let's bring in our cabin. Cabin's a little bit big, and really our trees are a little bit, should have been up further north, but this will work. It'll just give them some ideas. Now they have kind of like a road, and the road's going to help hold everything together, is what the idea is. So let's take a freehand tool and just go from like right here through there. Let's go ahead and make it something wider than a hairline. Let's make it a little bit wider so it won't break. I'm going to go to Object, convert it to an outline. I'm going to left click, right click, and you could probably weld this. Let's see if it works. Yep, it worked. So now this is what our tree is going to look like, or our inside of our ornament. So I'm going to move that over and just delete this one. I keep making this Smart Fill tool my friend because it's going to help. Now, we're not going to do anything to the inside yet. but I'm going to make this top, which is really unusual. I really like it. So what we're going to do, I mean, that's going to look pretty cool. But if you remember, we have a 4.5 inch ornament. So I'm going to draw another 4.5 inch disc. We don't want it any bigger than the other one. I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. Take this and hit P because it's round, it'll fit. But I want to move it out of the way for just a second. And we're going to fix this. And one of the reasons I'm working at the edge of the page, I'm going to take a rectangle and I'm going to go like right here, but I'm going to hit P so it's in the center of the page. And then I'm going to hold down the control button and bring it up. Now, the other ornament has like a slope to it. That's pretty easy to do. I just did a video on that just the other day. We're going to convert this to a curve. Take these two nodes and hold down. I actually made a hotkey for making it horizontal. And then you could bring those two nodes out. And also you can go right here to reflect nodes horizontally. I'm going to take this shape right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut out this center line. And several ways you could do it, I guess. It's a little bit different. I'm going to take a 2-point line and go from there to there. But I want it bigger, so now I'm going to stretch it. And if I hold down the shift key, it'll grow. Now, see, it doesn't work in that angle. It's because it's at an angle. But we're going to make it work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pick tool and bring that right to that edge. Double click on it and move our rotation to that node and then rotate it to that line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let's try our nudge factor like 0.1. And I'm going to nudge that over. That wow, when you're working with something pretty little. Let's go 0.05 and nudge that over. Let's hit the plus key on the keyboard and let's mirror that. And let's put it here. And then let's nudge that over. I can try this. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to grab that one. You know what? I can delete this one. So we won't. I could take the Alt key and hold down both and grab both those lines. We're going to try, go to Effects and Blend, and we'll blend them 4 times. That worked pretty well. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave it like this. I'm going to go ahead and go to Object and break the blend apart. Go ahead and grab this, which is a group, ungroup it. And then I'm going to take the Alt key and hold it down and kind of select them all. I'm going to go to Object, convert outline to an object, make it something bigger than a hairline. That's going to be our graphic that's going to hold it. I'm going to go and turn the outline into an object, and I can left click, right click. That normally wouldn't have done that. I'm just going to go ahead and delete those lines. I must have had a copy of them. And I really should have left that center circle. But what we can do is take the Smart Fill tool and do that right there. And you know what I can do? Let's do this. Let's take this shape, go up to Effects and Contour. I'm going to shut down the blend docker so I won't be confused. And I'm going to contour the inside just like 0.05. And we get that shape. So that's going to be our shape. And what I can do is not really even use these other 2 lines, these other lines. I can swipe all the way through here, deleting that. I'm going to go ahead and just make this a little thicker on that line. So, well, see, it won't delete because I need to go to Object and break the contour apart. Get the virtual segment delete key and delete that. Yeah, delete that line, go ahead and delete all these lines. And if I would have kept my circle, this would be perfect. But what I can do, and nobody would know, I'm going to take my 3-point curve line and go from that node to that node, and then just give a little bit of curve. And if you hold down the control button, it'll be perfect. Now I'm going to delete all these lines. And I'm going to delete here, whoop. Just deleting those inside lines. This will really be pretty good because it'll give this outside some strength, but it'll still have this. Now what we need to do is take the Smart Fill tool and fill it in, and that's going to be our shape. And I'm going to left click, right click. The only thing bad, you can't put it back in the center of the page, so I shouldn't have moved it. So what I'm going to do is fill that in, and I'm going to nudge it. I'm going to nudge it like 2 inches, nudge it up or down, up, get rid of all this. Go ahead and left click, right click, and nudge it right back. So that's in the center of our object. So if you make this a light colored wood, this looks like some sort of plywood, we're going to make it a lighter color of wood. That's what the back's going to look like. And if we take the front and fill it in with like a walnut, which would be pretty good contrast, fill that in, move that over, or hit P. That's what your ornament's going to look like. The only thing I did not do is I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I did not put a ribbon holder on this, so we can left click, right click, and we're going to put a place to put the ribbon in, and I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate. Of course, you'd want to measure this to make sure you're good. And then I'm going to hit P and put it at the center of the page. Grab it, hold down the Control button, and put it right up into here. That might look pretty good. Now we can we could possibly actually weld this. Let's try it. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, and it didn't. But what we can do is take this circle out of the way and weld all. I'm going to go a little bit further away and weld all this. The reason it didn't work is I had too many objects. And now put this back and you have a hole. That's pretty cool design. I like it. When people send me stuff, I really enjoy it. Getting to use other ideas. I've never thought of an ornament like that. But then just take this and move it over. Of course, now we need to go to Object, Order, Front of Page, and that's what it's going to look like. Now, she's got some, this would be the easy part now, because you could just, let's type in Sophie, and let's get a bit of pretty neat font. I'm just going to use that for right now. And because it's not, really needing to be touched, it's going to be engraved. You could pick whatever font you want and see how they have some squiggles, and there's plenty of fonts out there. This is kind of an unusual star. Don't really know what is going on, but I'm just going to make some 6-sided stars. And go ahead and fill them in with black and take away the outline. That's real important because you don't want them to cut. And then you could just, if you will take that and then move it and hold down hit the space bar, you can put as many of the stars as you wanted on it very easily. Now, so what's going to happen is this. Let me set my nudge factor on 5 inches. You are going to cut this out of walnut. I'm not going to have a fill in there. You are going to cut this out and engrave it at the same time. You just need to make sure everything's a hairline. And actually make it all red, signifying a hairline. So this will be I don't like the way that, it's fine. This will be a dual job. This will be engrave it and cut it. And most lasers, if not all lasers, will do it in that order, so it won't fall through. And this is basically one piece. So when you do that, you're going to have it looking like this. Of course, it'll be like that. And then we're going to turn that into a walnut. And because, you know, you did it while it was perfect, and there you go. That's what the ornament is going to look like. Really cool. I like it. I like that's a new style top. It adds to it. And then just the good thing about this, you've got plenty of glue space. I mean, this is an ornament. I would put a little bit of glue. So turn this piece over, the walnut over, just barely touch the outside. Then you could put a little glue here and here, here and here and here, and glue it down and kind of feel it with your fingers that it's all even, and you're good to go. Anyway, I like it. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.